What is up, YouTube? My name is Bigboysnacksjonnytv, aka What Kind of Snatch One, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the time of the thumbnail of the video, this is my AEW Dynamite review on how. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning all towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content, because I'm on the road to 12K subscribers. So let's get this video up to 10 likes. Let's get this video to 10 likes. Follow my social media down below in the description. Go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, AEW Dynamite was a pretty good show for what it was, and I give this show a 7 out of 10. AEW is live from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Wednesday, my dudes. You know what that means. Why do they always come up with that? Anyway, we kick off with comments from the main players for tonight's show, including MJF, Brody King, Kenny Omega, Don Callis, which is I'm sick and tired of, on behalf of his family. The Babes of Wrath and the team of Mega Bad. With that, we head to ringside for our opening match. The Death Riders make their way through the crowd first, the crowd cheering for them as they head towards the ring. Out next are the Don Callis family, led by Konosuke Takeshita. The trio head to the ring as the Riders stare them down before we get this match on the way. So we get the first match. Death Riders, AEW Continental Champion Jon Moxley, Pac, and Daniel Garcia versus Don Callis family, the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita, El Elkalan, and walking weapon Josh Alexander. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie to you, this was a fun match. Alright. It says we start off with Garcia and Alexander as they exchange holds, with Garcia going to work on Josh on the mat. They get to their feet as Daniel is sent to the ropes, but he fights back with some strikes of his own to take Alexander off his game. Josh backs away to his corner as El Elkalan tags in as Pac gets the tag for the Death Riders. Pac takes Kalan to the mat with a side headlock before wringing his arm when they return to their feet. The luchador uses his agility to counter out, but takes his head scissors by Pac before landing one of his own on Pac, who managed to land on his feet. The two circle the mat before Pac tags in. Jon Moxley and Kalan responds in kind with a tag to Takeshita. They stare each other down before Takeshita lays in some forearm shots. Jon Moxley fires back and they go face to face before chaos erupts, with all 6 men going at it in the ring. Death Riders cleared the ring before Garcia gets a tag, only to tag Pac as a triple team Takeshita. Jon Moxley continues to beat down before tagging in Garcia, who clips the camera OP on his way in, and they gang up on the Alpha in the corner before Kalan comes in to stop things. He then gets a tag as Pac tags in as well, and the pair go at it until Pac drops Kalan with a release German suplex. Pac runs the ropes for a lariat, but gets tripped up by Alexander, and this leads to him and Takeshita laying in some shots on Pac while Kalan distracts the referee as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Alexander sends Pac to the canvas with a belly-to-belly suplex before taking him to the corner. Pac fights off the family before landing some forearm shots. Landing some forearm strikes on the walking weapon, who knocks Pac down before going for a knee drop, but Pac dodges it, forcing Alexander to collide with the mat instead. Takeshita and Jon Moxley gets the tag once more, and they fire off in exchange of shots until Jon Moxley sends the Alpha down with a back suplex, only for Takeshita to respond in a kind with an exploder. Shotgun drop kick sends Takeshita down hard as Josh Alexander runs to the maneuver, only to be sent out of the ring by Jon Moxley, who then catches Kalan with a cutter. Tag made to Garcia, who sets the Alpha up with a dragon tamer, and John Moxley lands a curb stomp for extra damage as Garcia goes for a pin, but Josh breaks it up. Kalon comes running back in but gets sent out before John Moxley lands in a dive onto the pair outside, but back in the ring. Takeshita lands a blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Garcia tries to fight back but takes a wheelbarrow suplex that sends him into the corner, and after some involvement from Kalon, we see a power driver knee from Takeshita, but it's only good for two. Garcia starts to get his groove back, but it's all for not as a Raging Fire gives Takeshita the win. The winners of the match by pinfall, the Don Callis family, the Alpha Kanushka, Takeshita El Kalon, and Walking Weapon Josh Alexander. This was a fun tag team match. This was a fun 6-man tag team match. The trio celebrate in the ring as the Death Riders regroup on the outside. But I'm so sick and tired of the Don Callis family. Anyway, we get a look back at Andrade El Idolo beating Swerve Strickland last week on Dynamite before heading backstage to hear from the man himself. Prince Nana says their focus is where it always at the top of all elite wrestling. Losing one match doesn't mean they lost sight of that, and that's not going anywhere. A silent Swerve simply shatters off as commentary hypes up the lineup for tonight. Up next, we will see Toni Storm and Orange Cassidy in a tag action while addressing what went down at Collision. So we go to commercial break. Video package. Look back at Will Ospreay following his recent surgery, looking back on his career in AEW and the hope of returning to where the best wrestler. I miss Will Ospreay, so I hope Will Ospreay make a speedy recovery so he can return to AEW Dynamite. We head back to ringside as Orange Cassidy makes his way. He is quickly followed by the arrival of Timeless Toni Storm as we get ready for our next match with their opponents, Jonah Ossis and Brittany Brooks already in the ring. So we get a mixed tag match. Orange Cassidy and Timeless Toni Storm versus Jonah Ossis and Brittany Brooks. I hope I said it right. Brittany Brooks. And this is a squash tag team match. Yeah, squash match tag team match. Ossis offers a free shot to Cassidy, who responds with a light chop before offering a free shot to Jordan. He ends up walking Ossis to the mat with a hand in pockets takedown instead, checking his reflection on the bald head of Ossis. As the crowd cheered, tag made to Brooks and Timeless Toni Storm, with Tony pulling Brittany by the hair twice to drop her to the mat. Ossis runs in, but Orange Cassidy and Toni Storm take their opponents to the corner before having a side dance in the middle of the ring. Timeless Toni Storm lands a DDT on Brooks, followed by Orange Cassidy dropping aces with the one of his own, setting him up for a hip attack by Toni Storm and Orange Cassidy in an Orange Punch for the win. The winner of the match by pinfall, Orange Cassidy and Timeless Toni Storm. This was a squash match tag team match. After the match, Orange Cassidy grabs a microphone to address the match they made for Grand Slam Australia. They limit the possibility of becoming bald, and I'm looking at Luther going, come on guys, don't be so mean, before promising to either give Wheeler Yuta a cute little come over, or make Maria Shafir look like Mox. We cut to earlier today, seeing Darby Allin get blindsided by the former War Dogs and Clark Connors and Gable Kidd basically kidnapped the man. Back at ringside, Hangman Adam Page makes his way to the ring for our next match. Mark Davis comes out as well, and we get this match on the way. So we get the third match. So we get Hangman Adam Page versus Mark Davis, and this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie to you, this was a this match was not bad, but it was just decent. This was a decent match. What it was. Mark Davis charged at the former world champion for early advantage, but Page fires back to take Mark Davis to the mat. As the crowd cheers, Mark Davis fights back to send Page to the ropes, but Hangman Page low bridged him to send Mark Davis to the outside before landing a dive that sends Mark Davis to the announcer table. Hangman Page responds from the apron for a lariat before sending Mark Davis back into the ring. But Mark Davis turns stance around as he lays into Hangman with some shots in the corner. Hangman Page escapes the ring but is sent into the barricade by Mark Davis as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Mark Davis is still in control with both men in the ring as he sends Hangman into the corner. But Page fights out, sweeping Mark Davis' leg out from under him for a 2 count. Mark Davis is on the apron as Page hits the ropes, but Mark Davis fights back and stops a sunset powerbomb and drives Hangman into the apron. Mark Davis charged at Hangman Page on the guardrail, but Page evades him before taking Mark Davis to the floor with a moonsault off the railing. He brings Mark Davis back into the ring for another moonsault, but Mark Davis managed to kick out at 2. He blocks a dead-eye attempt to go for a elevated powerbomb, but Hangman Adam Page counters for a near fall. Mark Davis is back up for a lariat and a back suplex for the cover, but Page kicks out. Mark Davis has Hangman Page on the ropes for a lariat, but Hangman Adam Page fights back only to be dropped to the mat by Mark Davis before countering into a deadeye for a 2. Page sets up for a buckshot lariat only to be sent to the ropes by Mark Davis, but only he counters and eventually lands a tombstone piledriver, sends Mark Davis onto the ramp. He sends Mark Davis back into the ring for a buckshot lariat to pick up the win. The winner of the match, Hangman Adam Page. This was a decent match, what it was. Commentary talks about Page going on the Grand Slam Australia, facing the winner of tonight, Kenny Omega Andrade match to determine the number 1 contender to the AEW World Championship and Revolution. Page gets a microphone to address packing his bags next week to head to Australia, promising that if he earns his shot, he will take back the title. He never should lose. Alright, let's move on. As he leaves the ring, we cut to a vignette looking at Kevin Knight. Up next, we see Kenny Omega take on Andrade El Idolo to see who faces Hangman Page at Grand Slam Australia. So we go to commercial break. We head back to ringside as Andrade El Idolo is accompanied by Don Callis on his way for our next match. Andrade enters the ring before Kenny Omega music hits to get this match on the way. So we get the fourth match right here. So we get Kenny Omega versus Andrade El Idolo. This was the match of the night right here. This match was fantastic. Andrade leaves the ring for some advice from Don Callis before returning as we hear what the crowd thinks of Don Callis. Andrade shoves Kenny Omega before they trade strikes back and forth. Andrade El Idolo pokes Kenny Omega in the eye, but takes a running knee that sends him out of the ring. Kenny Omega sets Andrade up for a 1-week angel. One Omega Angel on the floor, but Andrade breaks free, eventually taking Kenny Omega to the floor with a suplex. He sends Andrade into the barricade and back into the ring, only for Kenny Omega to intercept him in the corner. The two fight it out on the turnbuckle before Kenny Omega drops Andrade with a superplex, but that is only good for a 2 count. Kenny Omega brings Andrade El Idolo back to his feet, wringing the arms before dropping Andrade for a moonsault for a near fall. Andrade fights back from the ropes for a crossbody to take Kenny Omega to the canvas, only for Kenny Omega counter a figure 4 leg lock for a colliding in a 2 count. Andrade fires back with a vertical suplex and a second one before rolling with Kenny Omega out of the ring for the third amigo on the floor. Andrade flirts with some ladies in the front row before getting back in the ring and getting the drop on Kenny Omega and set him back to the floor. One of the ladies get a selfie with him as we go to commercial break. Back in the ring, Andrade is still in control as he sends Kenny Omega to the corner, but Kenny Omega dodges him to get back into things. Still, Andrade is able to set up for a figure 4 leg lock with Kenny Omega, struggling to find a way out. Hangman Page to reverse the pressure, forcing Andrade to get in the ring, to get the rope, to force a rope break. Kenny Omega continues to take the fight to Andrade El Idolo, sending him to the corner before setting up for an avalanche one-winged angel. But Andrade breaks free, dropping Kenny Omega hard with a DDT covered by Andrade El Idolo, but Kenny Omega kicks out at 2. Andrade fires himself up for a running meteor on Kenny Omega in the corner. But this only gives him another near fall, and he is clearly frustrated by it. Kenny Omega struggles to his feet as Andrade El Idolo looks for the DM, but Kenny Omega fights out, and we get a exchange of strikes in the center of the ring. Kenny Omega runs to the ropes, but takes a knee on the way back, and responds in kind with a knee strike of his own. Andrade managed to fight back as we see Don Cal sneak a screwdriver to him. He distracts the referee while Andrade looks to use the screwdriver on Kenny Omega, but Swerve runs down to put it out of his hand. So Andrade was trying to cheat with that screwdriver, but thank God Swerve was there. The referee sees this and has it out with Swerve, and that distracts El Idolo. That distracts El Idolo and allows Andrade El Idolo to turn around and Kenny Omega for a low blow for the win. The winner of the match, Andrade El Idolo. This was a match tonight. It was fantastic, but the ending, the ending itself was just, I did not like the ending itself. Was just trash. Good match, but the ending was just trash. All right. Andrade leaves the ring to celebrate the win with the Don Callis family, and back in the ring, Swerve and Kenny Omega having an argument about what went down. This leads to security rush down to break things up. Commentary hypes up the world title eliminator match before throwing to a video package highlighting the man looking for a title shot, Brody King. With that commentary hypes up the lineup to still to come with our women's world tag team eliminator match. Coming up next, the Babes of Rap faces Mega Ball. Alright, so we go to commercial break. Backstage, we hear from Chris Statlander, who tells Dakota she had to wait on finding out the stipulation for their AEW Women's World Championship, offering to reveal the details on Collision. In the meantime, sit down, shut up, and pray that Cosmic Killer is just a nickname. Back at ringside, Mega Bad make their entrance for our next match. The champ have arrived as the champ have arrived as Babes of Wrath head to the ring, and this match gets underway. Sorry if I stutter, y'all. I was trying to get the words right, but I'm glad I correct myself. But anyway, so we get the next match right here. AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Eliminator match. Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale versus the Mega Bad, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. And this tag team match right here, I ain't gonna lie to you, this match was this was a solid tag team match for what it was. This was a solid tag team match for what it was. Mega Ball take control early on, sending Harley Cameron to the floor outside before targeting Willow Nightingale. Penelope Ford is the legal woman for her team before Willow Nightingale fights back, tagging Harley Cameron for a double team on Penelope Ford. Tag back to Willow Nightingale, who gets a 2 count on Penelope Ford before she fights out for a tag to Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne sends Willow Nightingale to the corner for some shots, only for Willow Nightingale to fight back with a cartwheel into a enziguri. She climbs the turnbuckle, but is distracted by Penelope Ford, allowing Megan Bayne what's this? Cartwheel enziguri. She climbs the top turnbuckle, but is distracted by Penelope Ford, allowing Megan Bayne to take the champ to the mat with their hurricanrana. Willow Nightingale escapes the ring for a breather, only to take a dive through the ropes by Megan Bayne as we go to a commercial break. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Willow fights back in the ring with a pounce before tagging in Harley Cameron. Penelope Ford tags in as well, but takes a sling blade before Harley Cameron fires one with some shots and a back suplex for a near fall. Penelope Ford takes her down before tagging in Megan Bayne, and they look for a delayed suplex only to be dropped with a DDT from Harley Cameron. Megan Bayne heads to the corner, but it's intercepted by Harley Cameron, who gets an assist from Willow Nightingale for a suplex, sending Megan Bayne to the mat. Penelope Ford catches the base with a double blockbuster off the turnbuckle, with all four women on the mat as the referee checks on them. Megan Bayne is lined up as Willow Nightingale official gets the tag, and she takes Megan Bayne to the mat with a spine buster for the win. Harley Cameron gets the tag. Spine buster for 2. I'm sorry. Harley Cameron gets the tag as chaos ensues, leading to Mega Bad landing a doomsday device on Harley Cameron to pick up the win. The winner by pinfall, Mega Bad, Megan Bayne, and Penelope Ford. This was a solid tag team match right here. The match is made official as Mega Ball will win it back again against the champ at Grand Slam Australia with the titles on the line. Alright. We take a look back at Tommaso Ciampa beating Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship before heading backstage to hear from the new champ, who promised to carry on with the opening challenge to put put the title on the line at Collision. He states that Savi isn't going anywhere before walking off, and we get confirmation that he defends against two men on Saturday as he defends against Roderick Strong and Claudio Castagnoli. We also look at the other matches for Collision, including the parking lot fight. Alright. Back at ringside, Jack Perry makes his entrance for our next match. Ricochet makes his entrance next, but Jack Perry gets the drop on the champ to get this match on the way. So we get the next match. So we get an AEW International Championship match. Ricochet defends against Jack Perry. And this match was fine for what it was. Jack Perry brings Ricochet back into the ring for a near fall before taking the champ to the corner for some punches. He sends Ricochet back. He sends Ricochet back into the mat for a 2 count before the champ sends him into the ropes to turn things around. He hits the ropes before driving a boot to back up Jack Perry's neck, trying not to let the ball chain breaks him as he goes for a boot choke on the challenger. Jack Perry fights back with some chops, but it's sent to the canvas by Ricochet. But it's met with some shot. Well, it says, the champ sends Jack Perry to the ropes, but it's met with some shots by the challenger, who takes Ricochet to the outside before sliding through the ropes, where he is caught in a wheelbarrow before Ricochet slams him onto the announcer table. The champ is firmly in control as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Jack Perry blocks a brainbuster attempt on the apron before Ricochet fights him up with a thumb to the eyes, only to be sent to the floor by Jack Perry, who follows up with a dive through the ropes. He brings the champ back into the ring, but Ricochet seems up the locomotion suplex chain before bringing Jack Perry to the outside for a Death Valley driver on the floor. He brings Jack Perry back in the ring for a leaping forearm before taking Jack Perry to the mat hard for a 2 count. He leaves the ring grabbing his title from ringside before leaving back. Grabbing his title from ringside before heading back. Referee stops him and sets the title aside as Jack Perry fights back for a German suplex, but Ricochet lands on his feet. Countering a lariat for one of his own. Jack Perry catches him with a poison rana before taking him out with a cutter, but the champ managed to kick out at to save the match. Ricochet dodges a running knee for a roll up, which gets countered by Jack Perry for a near fall of his own. He then locks in a snare trap on Ricochet, who crawls towards the ropes before being pulled back to the center by the challenge. Snap trap is locked in again as GOA makes their way out to the ring, with Khan distracting the referee long enough for Luna to pull Ricochet to the ropes. He eventually forced the break. Young Bucks make their way out to get rid of GOA, and the chaos allows Ricochet to prop the title up on the turnbuckle before giving Jack Perry driving Jack Perry into it. He follows up with a spear gun for the win to retain. The winner by pinfall and still your AEW International Champion Ricochet. This match was fine for what it was. Ricochet celebrates as we find out Young Bucks and GOA face off on Collision to see who enters the three-way tag in Dynamite to determine the number one contender for the tag titles. We cut to the parking truck, production truck, where Gabe and Clark have a little movie to show us, revealing that they left Darby Allin out in the desert and not even on the horse with no names. Alright, so we go to commentary struggles to compare what we just saw as we turn our attention to the main event as Brody King faces MJF. As he faces MJF in a world title eliminator match. Next, commercial break. Back from the break, we are starting this main event right at the end of the regular time slot. Thank goodness for the overrun as Brody King. It says overrun as Brody King makes his entrance first. Out next is MJF, and we get the introduction to get this world title eliminator match on the way. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get AEW World Championship Eliminator match, MJF versus Brody King, and this match right here, this match right here, squash main event match. This was squash. We get a chant in support of Brody's views as this match gets started before Hangman Page music hits and the former champ steps out to shout at MJF. MJF Fredman leaves to stare Page down, only to be caught in a sleeper hold on the apron by Brody King, who drops him to the floor. He brings MJF back into the ring, setting up for a cannonball senton in the corner before dropping the champ with a Ganzu bomb for the win. The winner by pinfall, Brody King. This was a squash main event match, what it was. With that, the match is made official for Grand Slam Australia as Brody King now gets to challenge MJF for the World Championship. MJF is still down, so the referee drops the title over him, only for Brody King to pick it up, but he doesn't get to stand tall with it for long as Andrade blindsides him. Andrade El Idolo turns his attention to MJF, dropping him with the DMs as Page runs to the ring for a buckshot lariat on Andrade. Page turns his attention to MJF, now looking for a buckshot on the champ, who catches him with a low blow. Page is down as Brody King gets back to his feet to drop MJF with another Ganzu bomb, and it's Brody King standing tall with the title as Dynamite comes to a close. And let me read the quick results. Don Callis family, the Alpha, Kanusuke, Jakaska, El Kalan, and Walking Weapon, John Alexander defeated Death Riders. AEW Continental Champion John Moxley, Pac, and Daniel Garcia. Mixed tag team match: Orange Cassidy and Thomas Tony Storm defeated Jordan Ossis and Brittany Brooks. Hangman Adam Page defeated Mark Davis. Andrade El Idolo defeated Kenny Omega. That was the match of the night, and it was fantastic. AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Eliminator match. Mega Bat, Megan Bang, and Penelope Ford defeated Base of Wrath, Harley Cameron, and Will Nightingale. AEW International Championship match. Ricochet defeated Jack Perry. AEW World Championship Eliminator match. Brody King defeated MJF, which that main event was squashed by itself. But anyway, let me give my honest opinion what I think about AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW Dynamite was a pretty good show, and I give that show a 7 out of 10. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my AEW Dynamite review on Highest, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from the beginning to the end. Give me 10 likes on this video. Subscribe to my channel for more wrestling review content down doing the channel, because I'm on the road to 12K subscribers before March. I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I'll see you guys live tomorrow on Twitch for some retro gaming. And that's all I gotta say from here. Stay too sweet. And I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I'll see you guys tonight for my upcoming world premiere. I'll see you guys tonight for my upcoming world premiere for my AEW Dynamite review on Highside around 5 o'clock a.m. right here on YouTube channel. But help me get to 12K subscribers and stay too sweet. And I'm out of here. Gang.